What's up guys, it's Debo here, bringing another weekly video for Lost Ark, the game I've been playing a lot and enjoying. It's in Korea, open beta, been playing as Summoner, and I've been exploring all the different possibilities of all the in-game content. And today, I'm going to bring you a little bit of information on the whole raid gear progression system of how you defeat raid bosses, and you get their components to craft powerful gear. Alright, the raid boss system in Lost Ark works as follows. There are 4 raid bosses. Each raid boss more difficult than the next. 1, 2, 3, and 4. After each of those raid bosses are defeated, and after you maintain a certain item level so you're able to acquire a certain gear score, it unlocks the next path of raid progression of additional bosses. So you complete raid boss number 1, then 2, 3, and 4. And between fighting the bosses and gearing yourself up, once you hit the first tier of the item level, as example, the first item level tier is 325, that will unlock the second set of bosses where you go back to basically fighting another 4 bosses, and then meeting another item level requirement so you can progress to the next set of raid bosses. So when you actually fight these raid bosses, there are a certain amount of conditions to the raid. First and foremost, you do not see the HP of the boss, just so they always keep you guessing. I don't know if this is actually true or not, but apparently the HP values are slightly randomized to different values so that you don't know the definitive amount of HP the boss actually has every time you fight it. If somebody can correct me if that's wrong, please let me know, but that's basically from what I'm grasped so far. You're only allowed 3 deaths between all party members. Upon the 4th death, you fail the raid encounter. And you're only allowed to bring in battle potions, or the specialty potions that you're allowed to use in battle that give you HP back on percentages. So you cannot use your normally consumable potions that go on 30-second cooldowns. Those are disabled, and you're only, like I said, allowed to bring in the battle ones. And then you're only given 20 minutes to defeat the boss. So if you have too many deaths, or you don't have enough DPS to kill the boss in time, that will basically end the whole encounter and you will fail. Now, with that being said, the bosses drops about, I think, anywhere between 2 to 4 regular components. I usually see 2 or 3. I don't know if it's actually 4 from the raid boss. You can farm the raid boss. From what I know so far and I noticed is that you can farm him as many times as you want, and then you get 2 to 4 raid components. Usually for me, I usually notice like 2 to 3. And these can be craftable materials that basically drop from the boss. It also can be the rare earrings, necklaces, or rings that the boss drops. And of course, those drop in epic quality and legendary quality. So one set is purple, one is golden, or legendary, or what have you not. And each boss drops like a crystal. I call it like a heart of the crystal, or the crystal of the boss. And you're only allowed to open those a total of 3 times a day. So you can farm a raid boss indefinitely, get 2 components at a time, or try to go for 2 pieces of loot or something like that, whatever the boss decides to drop you. And you can do that over and over again, from my knowledge, and you can do that all day. However, to get the crystals of the heart of the bosses or whatever that you have to open up, you're only allowed 3 of those a day to open, because those have the same drops that it normally does, but basically it's all contained inside the crystal. When you open it up, it's like a treasure chest basically, and it gives you more chances for more components from the boss, and also to drop some of the items that the boss carries. Most of these boss fights range in difficulty. I definitely got a very big Monster Hunter type thing if you guys played that. It's like kind of like the same rules of what happens with Monster Hunter. You're only allowed so many deaths, and you don't see the HP of the boss. And the difficulty of the bosses are not too bad. Sometimes when you fight a boss, you have to figure out how you're going to deal with it. You got to learn whether or not you're going to stand close to the boss, or you can stand at its side. Do you get to stand back? And when you naturally fight the boss a numerous amount of times, you notice the patterns, and you're basically just trying to prevent yourself from taking any type of damage. I've never really felt like I've been in a DPS race with the boss where I have to just burn him down crazy, and we really needed high-end DPS or like some type of aggressive style of play to defeat the boss. The one thing I notice is that just taking your time and just DPSing the boss down while minimizing how much damage you take is the main thing that you need to do. Because the issue is not killing the boss. It's just surviving the boss and not allowing yourself to take 4 deaths. You know, if people take too much damage or you're on the verge of maybe one more wipe and your party, you know, wipes, then at that point you might have not have done enough damage in order to finish the boss. Now, these bosses are tuned pretty well for your item levels as you progress through them. And also, they're also tuned pretty nice for a 4-person party. So as long as you take your time and you just, you know, practice dodging their mechanics and doing whatever damage you can, and you know, and once you guard break the boss, when they collapse on the floor, that's when you use all your big damaging spells. You should have no problem being able to take down any of these bosses. They're pretty straightforward. The only one I hear that you might need a certain class for, it's like on the 2nd tier systems. People complaining about the last 4th boss on the 2nd tier system where you have to have a bard or it makes a heck of a difference. So, you know, when I get to that point, I will definitely let you guys know. But the boss system, in terms of how it is and how it's implemented, is a very solid foundation, and I think they did a good job on that. Now, the only problem I have with the raid tier system, and I think it's kind of flawed, is the gearing system. The gearing system of the raid and the rewards of the raid of the craftable materials, to me, don't make any sense. So when you fight these bosses, all the jewelry that they drop, the earrings, the ring, and the necklace are fantastic. The purple drops of it scale very well and are very good at pulling you over into the next item level. So for instance, the 4th boss, he drops like purple, if I'm not incorrect, purple legendary, purple jewelry that rolls anywhere from, I believe, 310 to like 330. I could be a little bit wrong on those numbers, but it's a very solid number because the next item level you need to get to the next raid boss is 325. And that's also for the Chaos Dungeon, which is fantastic. That makes sense. And if you get the legendary version of the jewelry, that's even more item levels. So we're not going to talk about that loot that specifically drops from the boss. What we're going to talk about is the craftables. Let me give you an example. As I made in my last videos, like how people start progressing, there's different tiers of different gear. And the one thing I've noticed is that, for instance, there is a 280 5-piece gear set that you get from raiding. You can get it from Lumeros, the very first raid boss you start with. You hunt him multiple times, get the craftables, and the only thing you have to spend is shillings, which are the in-game currency that only your character can have. Very easy to craft that full set. You get a full 5-piece gear set of 280 pieces. I might be off 1 piece. I think you also get the weapon too, but overall, you get the helmet, you get the shoulders, you get the chest, you get the pants, and then I do believe the gloves, and I think it's the weapon. But you get a whole set, right, off of just basically killing the boss. You don't need acroniums or you don't need any special materials to craft the gear outside of just money and the craftable map. Fantastic idea. So you get a whole 280 set. And then when you fight the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th bosses, they provide you the materials to upgrade your gear. But herein lies the problem. I make the 1st tier set, all item level 280 pieces. I decide to use some of my components to upgrade set pieces. So I run the 2nd and 3rd boss, or predominantly the 2nd boss, to get the mats so I can upgrade my base 280 gear. The first upgrade, because it gets polished 5 times, the first upgrade will only upgrade the set from my 280 to 290 while using a resource of my that I use for pretty much all the gears, or acroniums, or whatever they're called. Those things are very expensive and hard to get. So for me, using my acroniums, even just a couple of them, just to get a 10 item level increase, it is not worth it. And if you do the math, because you're supposed to be able to polish it 5 times, the gear set takes you from 280 to 330. But if a player were to do this, it would be very, very, very expensive and cause a problem. Let me give you an example. The Harmony set, which you go for exploring around the different items, has an item level set of 280. However, every time you upgrade the Harmony set, which is a lot cheaper and a lot less frustrating, you actually end up getting 20 item levels of an upgrade. So basically, when you're looking at the rating counters and for how much you're investing into this gear, and you're looking at it like, well, with this rating set, to get it to item level 300, it's going to cost me far more materials and money than it would be to get, like, for instance, a PvP set or the Harmony set from these other sets that basically jump 20 item levels per upgrade. So basically what people are doing is skipping over the initial raid tier gear, getting the Harmony set, and focusing on upgrading 2 pieces. Because you can upgrade those 2 pieces at 20 item levels per increase. You start at level 280, then it goes to 300, 320, 340, 360, and I do believe 380 if I'm not incorrect. So I can take 2 pieces of that gear, upgrade my raid set, and then proceed to just go ahead, upgrade the 2 pieces of my Harmony set, and then just run Chaos Dungeons to, get drops and gear that are based on my item level. And that's a huge problem. So I don't know what they're going to do about it. I'm going to try to start discussing this with a lot more people, but with the current Chaos Dungeon system dropping a whole set of gear randomly for item levels 250 to 285, 305 to 325, 345, 365, 385, 405, 425, 445. The way it looks is if they still keep the Chaos Dungeon system the way they are, the only thing a player will need to do is maybe focus on upgrading 2 pieces of a time of any upgrade set. Bringing those 2 pieces up to the max item level as possible to raise their general item level, and while running the Chaos Dungeons every day, and just taking whatever item level drops that are scaled based upon what your gear score is and upgrading your gear that way. So instead of a player coming in and doing the whole 280 gear set piece, running the raid bosses, upgrading the gear, and then slowly progressing through the game, getting enough gear score, unlocking the next gear set, and doing that again, it makes no sense to do that because you're wasting a lot of your materials. Because every time you upgrade a raid tier set, you only get 10 item levels, which is next to nothing. I can get those same type of drops from the Chaos Dungeon, which requires no investment. Now, if you go along the line, once you hit item level 325 and you do your first 4 raid bosses, there is a nice little jump. You can go ahead and do the 340 set, which is this first boss of the second tier system, and that boss, just by killing it, will give you 340 pieces. That's a real good upgrade from 320 to 340, but then it goes back to the same problem as when you go beyond that, then you start upgrading it from 340 to 350 to 360, 10 item levels at a time. Very expensive to upgrade this stuff, and it just really doesn't make any sense. So, like I said, I want to do a little bit more investigation into it. If you guys are playing Lost Ark, I'd highly advise to get the Harmony set and just upgrade 2 pieces to max item levels and run your Chaos Dungeons every day. I like the rating system, I like the bosses and how everything they got set up, but I'm really concerned how this is actually going to work, because one of the biggest problems I'm noticing right now is that the natural gear progression system for the craftable raid set, it's too expensive to be dealt with when you have options of getting gear that costs nothing from the Chaos Dungeon and just focusing on 1 to 2 pieces. So maybe when you get the 340 set gear set for the raid, you'll only focus on 2 pieces and upgrade those to higher item levels. But in terms of like weapons specifically and upgrading all the set at the same time, that is a big no-go. And my question is, if I'm running the numbers and it's not worth it for me to upgrade all my raid pieces, and I can only maybe upgrade 2 and that makes sense, and then the initial raid set is practically useless compared to other things, maybe they should restructure everything and maybe change the values and stuff. Maybe they're already planning on doing it, but I just wanted to make a video that explained the whole raid system, what's going on with the actual craftable gear sets and stuff. That's why I didn't talk about it in the last video too much, because I kind of felt that I really needed to make a whole video about this and just discuss what's going on. Now, if anybody out there knows anything different, please let me know. As always, I appreciate you guys watching this raid video, or watching my Lost Ark videos in general. Appreciate the support. You guys can check me out at twitch.tv/spsdebo. You guys can follow me with I got a little button down there. It has my links to my Facebook, my YouTube, and also my Twitter. Let me know. Like I said, I think they need to work on stuff, and if I could do anything to help the community and let the developers know, or maybe send them a message somehow, it'd be good to talk about them, because I think they definitely need to revamp the system, because the gear progression system for the raids just does not make any sense. But anyways, man, hope you guys have a good day. Hope you guys have a great week. And of course, I'll see you back next week with another video, and I think I'm going to start dropping 2 a week. We'll see. There's a lot more stuff to cover about Lost Ark. Good luck with your raids, good luck in your adventures, and I hope you guys have a great day.